kind of fly down. And I actually caught cheetahs in a tree this last trip. This was in Lake Minyara National Park. This is the famous tree climbing lions. It's the only time I ever got a great shot of a male.
That is amazing.
It happened to be late in the afternoon. His mate was already up in the tree, and I have a sequence of her in the tree, Romeo in the tree, or Juliet in the tree, him looking up, and then him going up, and then his brother goes up on another branch in the same tree. It was a pretty exciting time.
Those trees must be pretty big, because these must weigh a lot.
Oh yeah. I was so close that I have normally a 100 to 400 millimeter lens on my camera. I had to drop that and pick the wide angle body up. I always have two cameras ready at all times. I had to pick up the wider angle lens in order to catch this photo because we were so close.
Do they even look at you or
Didn't
notice?
Even look at
they don't even.
Didn't even
they
look at
totally
it.
ignore you. They've done this too many times.
And cheetahs have dog-like claws and don't climb trees, but here I have a cheetah in a tree. This is pretty exciting. This is in February this year, and this is one of the three. The four cheetahs that you saw with the mom. So we went and found the brothers again this year. And this was one of them. They were actually up on the other branch. There was another one there. Now this is a leopard. And this was from the February trip this year. And he had two trees. He had a kill in one tree, and this was the tree where he was sleeping. It was like he had his bedroom and his kitchen kind of thing. And he stopped as he went up to the bedroom and licked his chops just after having eaten some. So.
That's amazing.
We only see one or two leopards on each trip. They're really much harder to spot because they're primarily nocturnal. This is another lion in a tree that is very near where we camp every time.
Do you actually ever go out at night, or is that way too dangerous?
You're not allowed to.
You can't,
one of the reasons the ecosystem is so successful is that they are administered by the World Wildlife Federation, and they have been since 1969. And one of their rules is you don't go do night drives. And so the whole ecosystem is really managed on that basis. They control how many lodges there are, how often the times that you can be out on the road, how many roads there can be,
really
as well as
managing it.
They really do administer it. In terms of setting the rules with a board, and then after that, it's actually the day-to-day management is obviously Tanzanians. But
you know, it's nice to hear that it's being managed that way, so people don't think that all of our resources are just being scattered to the wind. That people really do care. And
it proves that people do care, that they recognize the value of it from an economic standpoint, because a major portion now, probably 28% of their revenue, foreign exchange revenue, comes from tourism. Wow. And if they hadn't done that, they wouldn't have been nearly the exciting spot.
Okay.
One of the unheralded features of these trips is the incredible bird life. It is just unbelievable, and we see so many different birds and so many colorful birds. This is the lilac-breasted roller, and we often get really good photos of them. I had a bunch of bird lovers on this last trip, and they were just astounded. We saw 9 different raptors, 9 different eagles and/or hawks on this last trip, all of which they've gotten photographed. It really is an exciting place to be. We only have a couple eagles here, the golden eagle and the bald eagle. But
I'm going to go through some more pictures, so I know our time is running short.
Is it running short? This cow is actually charging us. She decided she did not want us in her, and it's one of the few times I've ever had some hesitancy about whether or not we were in danger. Our driver pulled us away just in time, but the whole herd kept coming at us. And I have on my website, I have a video of this, almost 20 minutes that they chased us and kept coming after us. This is when I still had the still camera and took the first photos. Occasionally you get a typical, the thing that you really think that is obviously Africa.
Is that morning, or is that?
That's a sunset.
Sunset.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a sunset.
Is that sunset?
That's a sunset also, but that happens to be in Missouri. So
Missouri, okay.
Just another example of how wherever I go, when there is an opportunity for something unique, I will. And for these things, you have to work at it. I mean, we got there a couple times. Actually, I'm sorry, that is a sunrise. Excuse me. Sunrise. And I had gotten there a couple mornings in a row until I finally got the right light to catch that photo.
And the next one? Is that here? That's Africa.
That's in Africa. That is an acacia tree. In fact, that's on my front page of my website right now.
And you're called Acacia Photography.
Acacia Photography. So, and in fact, I just got a replacement for that on this trip. I got an awesome shot this time. So. This is local again. This is in Kentucky. It's Cumberland Falls, in Cumberland Falls State Park. just before you get to the Tennessee border. This is part of the migration. It was so dusty. These are wildebeest. There were within sight probably 8,000 to 10,000 wildebeest in this particular from this location, but it was so dusty you really couldn't see them. You can begin to see them off in the distance there, but and they were strung out through this dry river. For most part, it was a dry river bed, but happened to have a puddle here. We got some nice shots. You can take a balloon ride across the Serengeti and see the animals from the balloon at sunrise, and then they do a champagne linen tablecloth breakfast right out on the Serengeti plain.
Oh my goodness!
With
wow.
Formal waiters and waitresses, and
That's amazing.
It's pretty awesome after the balloon ride. Yeah. The lodges. This happens to be a tinted lodge, but it has ceramic tiles, as you can see there. It has marble vanities and marble wash basins and that kind of thing. And these are 2 king-size beds in this tent. Full electricity, full water, full shower, and that's a tent. But it's definitely a 4-star resort hotel. Yeah.
And we have one final picture to show.
And this is, again, you have to work at it. This is the 5th morning in a row. This happens to be in the Grand Teton National Park. It's a very famous site, but it took a long time to get the light right.
Well, William, we only have about a minute left.
Okay.
I mean, so many things I'd love to continue to ask you because it's fascinating. But what's your advice to entrepreneurs? I mean, here you are following your dream and doing these wonderful things.
Living your passion is one thing, but you got to figure out how to market it. And you got to find out what distinguishes you from everybody else. When it comes to food photography, I have my niche, what I do differently than anybody else does. When I come to architecture, I have figured out what I need to do differently that will set me apart from the other people that are out there. The same kind of thing with this. There are other photographers that take people to Africa. The combination of workshop and knowing where to go, and with these awesome guides and the cars and everything, we have a unique thing there as well. And it's unique also then for the people that just want to go observe, even without a camera in some cases. So.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about your business and what you've done in Africa and your trips to Tanzania. It was absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank you much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. If you'd like more information about Michigan Entrepreneur, please visit our website at www.michiganentrepreneurtv.com. Please join me again in the future when I interview another enterprising entrepreneur. Until then, wishing you the best of business.